Hello, welcome to Channel Messages with Sandra. Today is Zodiacs. February. Well, the month doesn't always seem to matter because I find that people will find and view the Zodiacs, the session, even a year later. And they let me know that it applies to them then, and it's not even the month of February. It's when you find it, when you come across it. If it resonates, then it's for you. Sometimes we retain the information because it's meant for a future date. And occasionally, we become the mediums and the channelers and the liaisons between the physical and spiritual, and we need to relay the message to someone else. That's how it works. It seems doing this for thousands of readings, many years, people get the messages that are for them, even if it's not exactly what they like to hear, wanted to hear. But it's for them. The messages and the meanings, the intent, actually go where they're supposed to go. It's extremely rare that it doesn't. And even on those cases, I'm going to say there's a reason. There'll be reasons for that. So, you know the rules. You take what resonates. You leave the rest for another day. Come back to this. I would like a fresh subscribe, share it, share the video. That'll help. If you want to see more videos, I need a little bit more feedback. And I do get a lot of feedback outside of this platform. So I appreciate that. Thank you. I really do appreciate that. I think that's it. I'm going to talk later on about signs and symbols. But right now, let's get into the zodiacs for everyone, your little horoscopes. And people make fun of me sometimes how I say horoscopes. It sounds like horror, horror movie. But it's not. It's just my little way of saying it, I guess. So we're going to start with Aquarius. Okay, I love this deck. I absolutely adore the deck. I don't like the name. However, when I read the writers and the artist, one and the same, although everyone acknowledges that they've had help with certain wordings or verbiage. It's called Tarot of the Abyss by Anne Torium. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. I don't like that because the abyss for me is, and it doesn't even have to be religious where you think of hell. It's something low, lower vibration. But when you read her, the impetus to come up with that word, because we start in darkness, even if, as a baby, beginning of creation, it's a darkness. We are born to light. We come from the bottom, if you will, to rise in success. We come from the darkness into light with enlightenment and with knowledge. And she has a few more things to say, and I like it. So, and plus the cards are just beautiful. All right, so shuffle, 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 shuffle. And we, everything's cleared, blessed. I'm just going to put them one at a time. I usually only do one card per zodiac. If you want a longer reading, obviously, if you want one extended from today's reading, even if it's a year from now, that's fine. You just contact me. Okay, so Aquarius, you're getting the Two of Cups. See? Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? Twos we know are partnerships, union, love, usually love. This is an entanglement for Aquarius. You want to pay attention if an entanglement with, and it doesn't have to be a romantic partner, but if there's an entanglement, it feels like it's too much. There's somebody perhaps paying attention too much to you. So we want to pay attention to that. Oh, I forgot to tell you, this is the magnolia seed. A friend got that for me on a walk. That's in part of, I don't know if I have it on here, but it's part of my branding that I have. And this is a beautiful quartz that I got from somebody. Oh, who's an Aquarius? Well, them and their husband, but Aquarius. That's funny. I think it all matches. Oh, and you see, there's no accident that's why I'm talking about that right now. This is the season. This is the season. Right now, this month. Yeah, up until Pisces, but I think this is going to go on for 3 to 4 months for some Aquariuses. Watch what you're getting tangled up in. And if you're already in that lovely relationship, you just do the best you can to make them feel and make you feel. We don't become subservient, but we try to do the best we can to make them feel wanted and loved. But we expect the same in return. Make sure you're experiencing that. If not, that's due for a conversation perhaps, or an example, or you figure it out. There's many ways to approach that kind of topic, but it should always be fair-minded, fair-hearted. Two of Cups also reminds us of effort and healing, right? A little bit like the Caduceus with the healing. Okay, Aquarius, I think that's just to pay attention. Make sure we're putting in effort. But this is also, okay, before we go, it reminds me of either an unrequited love from the past or something that's not showing up for you right now. You need more love. You need more attention. Whether male or female, we do require, male or female energy, we do require a little different types of appreciation, of noticing, on average. But almost, it's all the same. People want to feel loved. They want to feel needed. Always make sure you're giving it to yourself, because that's the yin and yang of the emotions. Okay, thank you, Aquarius. All right, moving on to Pisces. Pisces, you got Two of Pentacles. This is an interesting card. I just love the artwork. I just absolutely adore the artwork. Two of Pentacles is juggling a lot. And you can see where there's two people. And I do this frequently because while I'm an intuitive reader, I do study the cards. It helps people, because that's the feedback that I get a lot, and I appreciate that it helps people explore the cards, explore symbolism, and go deeper with their own imagination. So while you're here with your imagination, what's behind you? Are you juggling something from the past that perhaps you can put down? Pentacles are usually material, but they're also physical. Two is a partnership, and in this card, in this deck, today, because it can change with another reading, a little something's being neglected. Something's going on behind your back that you're not aware of, and it's usually in your own heart. It's usually in your own mind, and this is a choice. We have to get our physicality together, not just be in okay shape, health-wise. Yes, you know, everyone is in a different physical condition, whether born that way or something happens in life and the physical body changes and it's no longer what it was. This is to make sure you're juggling both aspects of yourself. It's juggling both aspects. But I am hearing to make a choice to integrate both aspects of yourself. A little bit of the shadow side, a little bit of the happy, positive, looking at, you know, life. Shadow side does not always mean negative. It's usually, if we delve deep enough, we really clear out. It's like getting in and clearing out the gunk on a bottom of a bottle that's hard to get into. You need that bottle, and you got to scrape through a little tiny, the neck of the bottle. It's tiny, it's narrow, it's thin. This is like get in there, clear it out. Just hearing clear it out. So, in the physicality of it, the physical world, you might be having a lot of clearings, which is nice. It doesn't always feel so nice. This is a reminder because they look like yo-yos. Yes, they look like yo-yos. So there's a reminder to play. And don't feel like a yo-yo. Don't feel like you're bouncing back and forth, back and forth. Make up your mind. This is a definite make up your mind kind of card. Some things we can put off and some things we can't. We have to make up our mind that we're going to be this way or be that way. It's also a card for facing facts. It's also a card for not neglecting, because pentacles are usually the money, but the physical part. So we don't forget and neglect the physical part of ourselves or those around us. Because is there someone around you that you're not fully paying attention to? Is there someone around you that you're really not showing, I don't want to say respect, but showing that diligence, either that you once showed, or perhaps that, you know, it's like, oh, and if it's a new relationship, it's like, oh, I didn't even know you were there. So pay attention to that. Okay, thank you, Pisces. Good luck with everything. Moving on to Aries. Oh, Aries, you got the Lovers. Look at this card in this deck. Now, one would think that this represents the winter and dead branches, but maybe today it does a little bit. Perhaps today it's exploring the parts of you that you've neglected. It's also a reminder that in the future, that tree is going to grow green again. If you're alone right now, it's a reminder that you're going to explore that in the future, and then do that. Absolutely do that. Plan, hibernate a little bit perhaps. Tend to the heart, tend to your roots, tend to the love. Fertilize. We fertilize our love, we fertilize ourselves. Tend to yourself in whatever way you see fit. You know, the average typical thing is, you know, self-awareness, self-care, self-love, truly caring about your future. Envision your future with more love, with more happiness. And if you are one of those areas that are in a relationship right now, it's quite possible that you're losing patience. But that's in your mind. Whether it can be controlled or not is entirely up to you. But what's the control? The control is acceptance. We do what we can, so the control is in feeding this tree, or these trees. you know there's more there. The control is taking care of yourself, looking to the future. That's the control. All right, so that's your future. You have a few months to get your act together with love, with people around you, with yourself. Look in the mirror and say, I love you to yourself in the mirror. Now, doing it 3 times, 3 different days, once in the morning or whenever, if you can do that, sometimes that's just the actor or actress. It's like you look in the mirror, like, yeah, I love you. I love you. I love you. Try doing that on a regular basis. At some point, a lot of people break down a little bit, whether it's a little teary-eyed or looking at yourself like, oh my God, I don't love you. Or you look in your mirror, oh wow, I really do love you. The latter is what we want, but say it's the former. And you're looking in the mirror and you're saying, I don't feel the love. I don't feel it. This is a reminder to you have to nourish it. I don't care what has happened to you in your past. I care, but it doesn't matter. We have to put the traumas behind us. And we have to go on from today forward. You are no longer that person that you were yesterday, or 5 years ago, or 10 years ago, or more. I say that frequently. I am not even the same person I was this morning. You are growth. You are the seed. You are the seed. It may feel dry. It may feel old or decrepit or something, but there's life. There is absolute life. That's what you have to remember. But do the work. Look in the mirror. Put your hand on the heart if you can't look in the mirror. There's some people that can't. I get it. Then don't. Put your hand on your heart. Put both hands on your heart and feel it. Feel everything pumping in the blood. Just feel life in there, because there's still life in these trees. And if you know anything about trees in the forest, that when one tree is fallen, the other trees send nutrients through the ground to the fallen tree. If one tree is chopped down, the other trees send nutrients to the stump of the tree. So you're not alone in 2 aspects. Well, definitely from yourself, get that? You're not alone in the world. I don't know if there's a new trauma, a new hurt. Everything that could be done to humans has been done to humans. There's a lot more coming, but you understand even what's coming has already been done to humans at some point. So this is taking care of yourself. Grabbing, what they call the bull by the horns. Oh, there might be a Taurus around you. So see how that's going to react. You take care of yourself. That's what that is. And I think my phone's on. It should have been on. Let me see. It should be on do not disturb. Nope. That's so funny. I always put it on do not disturb, and I took it off this morning. All right, that was Aries, so thank you. Moving on to Taurus. Oh, Taurus, you got the Fool. Now, this Fool, as many Fools in many decks, doesn't have a care in the world, wants to take risks, wants to jump out and do new things. In the card deck, the booklet, it says she's dropping the rose to say goodbye to the past. And that can be. But what about if she's dropping the rose because she's moving on, which is the past, but 2 things here. She's moving on from past hurts, past relationships, even how she used to treat herself, moving forward. So Taurus, move forward with that attitude that many of you have. Pure, beautiful hearts, very sensitive on average, which is lovely. But take your own personal responsibility. One, have fun. That's the taken care of. And two, what about if she's dropping that rose? Sort of like a breadcrumb. Yeah, you would think maybe one petal at a time. But maybe it's like a little breadcrumb. Just one. One petal at a time would be like, here I am. Here I definitely am. You can locate me. But one flower, if you really love me, this is where I am. If I'm supposed to have all these things happen, then this is where I am. And she's just going for it, but she's very peaceful. I see very, very peaceful stuff happening here. Also, you see how wild her hair is in the wind? The Fool is definitely about taking chances and beginning a journey. Begin new journeys, whether it's beginning new classes, new friendships. I like that. All right. Thank you, Taurus. Moving on to Gemini. Gemini, you got justice. Look at that face. Isn't that gorgeous? I love this deck. So, that one eye, you know how they talk about somebody giving you the side eye? Like, why are they looking at me like that? Either they know something I don't, or they're trying to figure me out, or they're hiding something from me. And it's a little bit more than they know something that I don't. Hiding something from you is like, I'll never tell. Justice always tells us we will figure it out. Our eye, at least one, it's nice to have both eyes on the prize, but one eye must always be on the prize as we look around. And you know, if you have any Libras around you, that's a show of love. She looks like she just came in from the storm a little bit, doesn't she? Like the wind just whipped her hair around. Let the storms calm. If they're here happening now, or the storms that are coming, let them come. Let them calm down. Keep your eye on what's going on. Don't engage. Don't engage. Sometimes we can engage slightly just to see if we can ameliorate the effects of what's happening, calm the situation down. This is a waiting card right now. This is a waiting card. Justice will come. Even the justice in our own hearts. It doesn't even have to be legal. It doesn't have to be like what's going on in the world right now, unfortunately. That's going to be a very, very long time before that. Years, maybe, I believe generations. Many generations before that settles. It's not doom and gloom, right? It's not doom and gloom. It's being aware. So justice does come. Justice absolutely comes. I tell people all the time, and we know if we explore metaphysics or anything in these fields, it's not, unfortunately for some of us, it's not the life of the person, it's the life of the soul. So when we want someone to have karma, like, I can't believe what they're doing. I mean, if you look around the world today, well, you know, the top leaders and politics and there's people, how angry and how thievery and but sit back, just observe. Literally, this is just be the observer. It's the life of the soul. Someone was cruel to you. It's the life of the soul. We all experience when we were cruel to someone. We all have to experience that. And that's why they say the person with the without sin cast the first stone. Now, sin just means missing the mark. It's not like you're going to hell. I'm not going to get into religion. That's man-made. But the spirituality of that is, it's true. If you're perfect, then throw a stone. If you've never been perfect, or you have those moments like all of us, this is just wait. Just wait. It all settles down. Even everything in your life, it will settle down and you will see justice in many different ways, but even in your own heart. So this card also reflects to forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for anything. Forgive yourself for not knowing, oh gosh, I shouldn't have dated them. Forgive yourself for that. You didn't notice the red flags, or you ignored the red flags because the person was hot, or you just were lonely, or it just felt right, or, blah, blah, blah. We can always make excuses to ourselves. But once we catch on to the boundaries, the red flags, the boundaries broken or crossed, that's when we forgive ourselves. We notice and we forgive ourselves. Justice is not just always about the outside. Justice is also frequently about forgiving ourselves. Okay. Thank you, Gemini. Moving on to Cancer. Oh, Cancer, you got Ace of Pentacles. Now, in this deck, which is funny, because aces are new, right? Aces are usually beginnings and gathering, especially pentacles. We're gathering, there's usually, well, in cartomancy, it would be perhaps bills, an engagement coming up. But that's what I'm feeling, or I wouldn't have seen that right now. As a channel, I wouldn't have seen that. There's new growth. There's new growth from your shoulders. There's new growth from your head. So you're learning something. If you want to go back to school, go. If you want to learn crocheting, I don't care what it is, but this is a time to take up. Oh, and if you're a teacher, well, take up something. Learn something. Learn how to tie knots. Learn how to fish. Learn how to grow food. Learn something, electroculture. Anything holistic. That's what the pentacles are for. It's learn holistic healings and growing and life and energy. However, in this card also what I see is this, it's almost like you gotta friggin' unburden yourself. You're not only carrying your fruit, but you're also carrying other people's fruit. You're carrying too much. You're carrying their wood, their sticks. It's one thing when we're working for someone and we're participating in the labor. But it's another thing if everything feels laborious, it feels overburdened, it feels too much labor. It's just too much. So, because I see this a little bit like with the world on Atlas's shoulder, it just feels too much. And while you can see, while you can see the roots, it doesn't quite feel like they're thick enough, like they go deep enough for all this. It feels top heavy. Do you understand that? So figure out why you're top heavy. Even though they're pentacles, perhaps you're still thinking too much. You would think that's swords or wands as well, but it's and wands because you need air for fire. Just grounding. If you can, Cancer, do some more grounding. The roots aren't deep enough. Roots aren't deep enough. All right. Thank you, Cancer. Moving on to Leo. Oh, Leo, interesting. You got 3 of Pentacles. Pentacles, we know, are material. It's also physical. This is holding, almost like I'm holding on for dear life. I can't figure out which way I'm going. I feel like I'm down. I got to be pulled up. Who's pulling me up? And are you pulling yourself up and yet somebody's trying to pull you back down? Or are you pulling yourself up and you're pulling someone else up as well? This is a little bit of let go, one of those let go, let God. You know, again, I'm not religious, but sometimes we let our higher self, I believe our higher self is God. Doesn't mean we don't have a creator, where there's higher beings, higher source. But I do believe that we're all God. The animals, the birds, rocks, emotions, everything is part of God. This is let go. Now, threes are stability. On average, threes are stability. But it feels like too many hands, what's that, too many chefs in the kitchen? There's too many chefs in the kitchen. I think that's the saying. There's just too many. Who are you letting take control of you? Leo, that's what it feels like. This is reflect on your grounding. Reflect that it's a little bit more balanced between higher and lower. Reflect on who's pulling you in what direction. Are they really pulling you up or are they pulling you down? Are you helping them pull yourself down? Sometimes we help someone else injure us. So figure out how you can change that. You know, I'm going to get one extra card. I don't usually do that. But let's see. Oh, you got 7 of Pentacles. So what this tells us is this is moving on. This is moving on. So the good news about this is it feels a little harsh. It feels hard, uncomfortable. And it's not even a yin and yang. I'm not even picking up yin and yang. It feels like I don't know which direction to go to. I feel like I'm being pulled, and even though it's only up and down, but it's across. So it's not literally horizontal, vertical. Look at this beautiful card. It's 7 of Pentacles. This tells us you have choices, you have homes, you have a hearth, you have food, you have everything that you need. It may not be everything that you want, but you have everything that you need. And when we feel that we don't, have everything that we need, and for some reason the 3s here are usually stability, like we said, but we don't feel stable. What does this card represent? That's home. That's a foundation. That's moving on. 7 of Pentacles, this is moving on. This is more money, or at least more opportunities. This is getting the house in order. Get your house in order. And your house is your body. Your house is your car, your closet, your junk drawer. Cook for yourself. All right. Thank you, Leo. Moving on to Virgo. Virgo, you got Wheel of Fortune, which is funny because most Virgos are the Wheel of Fortune. So this is a doubling down of this energy. To me, she seems like she's the seer, the sage, the medicine woman, the witch, the good witch. I don't want to hear anything from people about the word. They were always healers. It was people that made it into bad. Now, there is sorcery, but that's different. We don't deal with sorcery in a bad way. We deal with a little bit of witchy, but it's mostly healing. It's mostly goodness. And for me, it's all. I don't want to dabble in anything. I've been around it. I've seen it. I was affected by it. Oh, they have me moving this. So what's moving on you? Do you know what it makes me feel like? Oh, which is funny, because the Wheel of Fortune usually is a wheel in most decks, not in this one as much. That's what I feel like, a compass. Now, I don't know how it comes across on the camera, because sometimes it's opposite, but I'm going counterclockwise. That's usually a review of the past. So review your past, because the Wheel of Fortune, it can be one of the harshest cards in the deck. Why? Because that's karma. So that's why we talk about black magic, white magic, sorcery, bad sorcery, because that's karma. All these people and all these governments and all these world people, blah, 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 that's practicing bad sorcery, dark magic, they're not escaping that. There's people that have been putting up videos and stuff saying that they avoid their karma all these thousands of years because it's mostly the same families for thousands of years. They just a couple of times change their name, different name for the groups, but they're the same sorcery, blood drinking, if you will, people. But if they tell us what they're doing, like in the movies, in the music, I mean, now it's like really out there. If you're paying attention to what's going on, it's really out there. But that doesn't excuse them or skirt the karma. They still get it. They still get it. Every time they're doing something bad, if you will, quote unquote bad, every time they're causing harm to another, for appearances. Remember, whether we're in the matrix, a hologram, a simulation, it's still the intent is to cause harm. So we leave here and we say, well, that game was crazy. I'm going again. Or I'm not going again. I didn't like playing that game, right? There's some games we like, some games we don't like. But those people that are causing in this realm all this harm, they do get their karma. That's BS that they don't. They can push it, kick the can down the road, as they say, push it away. But even during that, they're getting their karma. And how they get their karma is because part of their soul is just getting more and more decrepit. Just because you can't see it, we don't see it, doesn't mean it's not happening. So counterclockwise, because I want to go counterclockwise with this. Counterclockwise tells us we need to review the past. We need to get rid of the past. We need to get rid of the old way of being, the old way of doing. And we need to move on to something new, something fresh, something healing, something helpful, something unity and community. I always put that up on Facebook. Unity and community. You're good. Virgo, this is double Virgo. Your power is right now. Utilize your power, of course, always for good, always. Sometimes when you say for the highest good, that can throw things off, because what's the highest good? Sometimes someone's highest good is literally to go through one of those lessons that are rough. I don't want that kind of highest good. So you want to do it for the purity and for the enlightenment and for the love, for the healing, for the positive, for the raising of the vibration. And that's what she's doing. I love this card. Now, but if you notice, this is a little convoluted. It's a little messy. It's a little overlapping. So just be careful. Be careful what we wish for, right? You're wishing for $1 million, or you're wishing for someone to love you. It will backfire. It will backfire. That's why I won't do love spells. I'll do love spells to draw love in, but not for a particular person. You can. I won't do them for a particular person. They backfire. So send out love, send out peace, meditate. She's concentrating. She's got her thinking cap on. Know what you want, or at least the general idea of love, loyalty, friendship, companionship, animals, peace. And when they say peace on earth, I forgot what her name is, Carolyn Meese, she would say, well, what do you mean peace on earth? Describe that for me. And it's nice to go into all those details, but we know exactly what peace on earth means. Let's go for that. All right. Thank you, Virgo. Moving on to Libra. Libra, you got the Ten of Swords. This frequently is a harsh card. But what does it tell us? It's turning your back on something that hurt you. It's just turning your back. I have to tell you, because I am a medium, but this is a general reading, so if there's multiple Libras listening, which there usually are, see, like, they have me draw my attention. That's how it works with me and many mediums and psychics. We get our attention drawn to something else. This is like pieces of you other places. So when at the end of the day, call all your pieces back to you. Tens are end of one cycle, beginning of another, but that can just be the day. That could just be the friggin' hour. If you need to do it every minute, I went through a period of time where it was the depression and the sadness, and it was fucking crazy. I went through this, and I said, I had to narrate my life. Okay, I'm getting in the car. I'm turning the car on. I'm putting the windshield wipers on. Well, it's rainy today. So, however I was doing. Okay, putting the lights on. I'm going to back out of the driveway. I'm driving up the street. Got to stop. Oh, there's a stop sign. Got to stop. If you have to narrate your day just to get through it, then that's what you do. Narrate your day. And then you always wind up with the one. The one and the zero, beginning and the moving on. You pass the nines. Nine of Swords is a little difficult. You're past that. Move on from that. Get up and move on. What do you want your future to look like? That's what you're calling in. Don't let those buzzards circle you. Those buzzards, they can be people. They can be memories, haunts and hurts and harms. Don't let them circle you anymore. Take them out. Take those out. Sometimes I do know people that are in relationships and will not leave the relationship because they have children. They have a good life for all intents and purposes, not the inner life. The inner life is almost a horror story sometimes. But they don't want to separate. And that's fine. There's no judgment in spirit. Literally, there's no judgment in spirit. They're happy. They want us happy. If we're talking about family members and most guardians and guides. But they want the best for you. They want the best for you. So make sure you're doing the best, and not in this. Yes, we have to be selfish in order to. It's like, you know, the mother in the airplane. The oxygen comes down. You got to put it on yourself first before putting it on the child, or you put it on the child, you pass out, and then you're not holding it up anymore. For, you know, a toddler or something who can't hold it up themselves, or they panic and, you know, something happens. So that part is the survival selfishness, if you will. And when we're usually that kind of survival selfishness, and not just because you're bored, not just because you don't love them or they don't love you, literally, that's not always it, because love can come back in another 3, 4, 7 years. Sounds like a long time, but that's why people were married 60, 70, 80 years. Sometimes it was great. More often than not, you talk to them and they say, you know, we went through a period of time where, well, you know, we didn't really talk for 3 years. But that's community. That's how people are. That's how friends are. See who you're deserting, or see who deserted you. This is the end of one cycle, beginning of another. And if it's just the day, always know at the end of the day, call your pieces back to you. Lovingly. Cleanse them on the way. Ask for them to be cleansed on the way back to you. If I left my pieces anywhere in the world, anywhere at the store, with another person, on the phone, with a thought, if my thoughts were taking off and they were mean or cruel or even self-flagellation, you were down on yourself, you're picking on yourself, bad thoughts about yourself, stupid, idiot, why did I do that? Call those pieces back to you in a loving way. And you're good. Libra, you're good, because the tens are moving on. So this is the end of that cycle. We get up. We bless ourselves. We smile even when we don't want to, because your brain doesn't know the difference all the time. It doesn't. That's what they say when they research that. with the EGGs, I think, not EKGs, there's a heart. The EGGs, I think. When they put the electrodes on your brain, they measure blood, the hormones in your blood. They measure all these things. When we talk kinder to ourselves, it changes everything. When we're smiling, it changes our heartbeat, our rhythm, our breathing. Talk kinder to yourself, Libras. Okay, thank you. Moving on to Scorpio. Oh, Scorpio, you got the star. Oh, that's a pretty card. And I went through these, but... So here's can see that there? They're absolutely gorgeous. So, oh, that's a 17. 17s are really profound. I find a lot of things happen on the 17th. A lot of people, if you will, quote unquote, be bad people or people that want to do things that aren't so great, they plan things on the 17th. But even a lot of good happens on the 17th. I have several dates in my life that a couple weren't great on 17th and a couple were fantastic. So that's completely yin and yang. It's completely, either end of the spectrum. This is telling us reach for the star, but reach for the good star. This is, it feels like she's, and it could be male, could be female, the gender. See how large the artist drew this hand? To me, it's showing asking for the wrong favors, asking for the wrong wishes. And wrong as in, nothing's really wrong, because that's how we learn our lessons, right? That's how we learn. That's how we get knowledge. But this was too much. Whatever was being asked for was perhaps either not in your best interest, not in other people's best interest, and the smaller hand is now wishing. The smaller hand is grasping. But when we think smaller, we think perhaps larger as an adult, smaller as in a child. So perhaps with a childlike gaze, a childlike wish, a childlike hope, have a different wish. Have a different wish. But there's no doubt in my mind she's getting, or he, it's just the energy, but it's a she, right? Yeah. It's no doubt in my mind that this character is getting their wish. And when we get those wishes, sometimes it's not exactly as we wanted or we had hoped for. And we have to deal with the consequences. But what do? What do? We put that wish down, we put those thoughts down in the past, and we choose again. We make another wish. We make another decision. So if you don't like the consequences of your past decisions, you make another decision. If you don't like the outcome, you make another decision. You make another wish. And you always, always kiss your wishes before sending. Just kiss them. Hug them. Good thoughts. Good love. Good intention. Not necessarily for the highest good. We've discussed this before. Highest good can be some powerful lessons that are not, it's for your highest good, because how they come out. But it's, we ask for love, communication, for that desire, for that wish to be exactly as we need it, as it should be. Not just what we want. Okay, I think that's it. That was a little crazy, but that's it. Thank you, Scorpio. Moving on to Sagittarius. Oh, Sagittarius. Oh, this is interesting, this card. I told you I love this deck. This is the Two of Swords. Sagittarius, this is, I have to tell you, this is coming to terms with past decisions. This is, you have to make a choice. Who do you want to be? Who do you want in your life? And if you're not living what they call your authentic life, you're not really living. This character, this being, is kneeling on the swords. So if someone came to attack her, him, I can't tell, because, you know, but if they came to attack, you can't even defend yourself. Your hands are so occupied with everyone else's BS, with everyone else's drama. And then what drama are you causing? And why can't you look yourself in the mirror and say, I love you every day for 6 months? Why can't you show the world your true self? Not easy, right? Sometimes we have to put on a mask of, hi, I'm happy to be here. Meanwhile, you're really not. But sometimes if we could just get through that moment, or be happy that you're there. Be happy that you're anywhere and say, okay, this wasn't for me. I don't really want to be here any longer. I learned what I had to learn. I need to leave. But this is freeing. This card is such a profound, meaningful, stressing, prompting to free yourself. Sagittarius, free yourself. Show your true face. Not always easy. We've been lied to all our lives, not just as a collective. Most of our history is a lie. Most of the things we hear on TV and everywhere else is a lie. Most of the things we tell ourselves are lies. Some things other people tell us, no matter how much they love us, they're lies. This is, let's face the truth and accept it. Sometimes they're harsh. Sometimes it's easy, or it's like, I don't care. But I'm going to pick another card. King of Pentacles. This is male and female. Sagittarius, for some of you, not maybe, perhaps not all, the male could be a child that's acting up, that's not telling the truth. This could be a loved one. Now, the King of Pentacles, you see his face in this deck? Very calm. In fact, he's expectant. He's not only expectant of hearing the truth or wanting to tell the truth, he's also observing. So make sure make sure you're observing. Make sure you're observing the truth. I just keep hearing the word truth for your reading. I just keep hearing truth. Face the truth. Act truthfully. Behave truthfully. It's being the authentic self. And what does authentic mean? It means being sincere. Coming from a place of love whenever possible. Now, I'm not talking walk up to a stranger or let a stranger walk up to you and they mean harm. To say, oh, I love you, but we don't want to do certain things in this realm. But this is, be calm, face your fears. King of Pentacles faces fears because the pentacles are physical and they're material. You have everything that you need. More than likely you have a little bit more than you need, which is fine. That's lovely. But even if you're just scraping by, be calm about it. Know that in your heart, you have it. The decisions have already been made. Swords, they've already been made. You can change them, but you got to get off the swords. Or you can't. They're not even, swords pointed down mean no, if you're doing a yes or no question. Pointed up, they mean yes. They're lying down, they're on the floor, they're not doing anything. What's going on? This is get up, get moving, start collecting, start working, but be calm about it. Be calm, you're okay. You are really, truly okay, Sagittarius. Accept yourself. You're one big ball of love. Maybe a little insecure, but you're one big ball of love. And you're going to be meeting a couple of people in the next couple of months, perhaps 3, that are going to calm you down or give you a new perspective on something, even if they're not calm. They're going to give you a new perspective on something, on challenges, a way of looking at things. And it's just going to like aha moments. All right. Thank you, Sagittarius. All right. Let's see. We have Capricorn. Capricorn, we have 6 of Wands. Okay, so if you know the 5 of Wands, 5 of Wands is usually challenging, infighting, outward fighting, inward fighting, internal, external. It's just arguments and what's going on here? Now, each deck is different, and I love this. I love this one. 6 of Wands. So you passed, and are passing the hard times or the hurts. It doesn't mean you're out of the woods, right? It doesn't mean you're out of the woods completely for some of you. Some Capricorns are still a little lost in the woods. But people have their hands up. They want to help. They want to help. And if this is a ballerina, if this was somebody dancing, and she just put on a performance, they're clapping. They're giving you a standing ovation. Accept compliments. Wayne Dyer says, practice extreme humility. That's something I fight with. While I feel humble, I'm also of the type like, well, why aren't I getting the notice? Why aren't I getting this? Why, you know, there are some people where I've had readings. Well, no, actually a lot, so I won't go into that. I'm pretty good at reading. So, and, you know, delivering messages and channeling. So let's not get into that, but it's still a little fight for me to be humble, as in not hubris or being conceited, but being humble, like let the other person not win an argument, not win the game. If you're playing a game, you're playing, you know, Monopoly, I don't care what you're playing, cards. If you win, you win. Once in a blue moon, some people will let a child win or let somebody who's been sick for 3 months win just to boost an ego. But we don't do it in a way where they can suspect. So that's okay, maybe. Maybe. But be humble and accept that you're a good person. Accept that not everyone thinks like you. Although Capricorns are pretty cool that way because you're an earth sign. And wands to me are all, not always the, a lot of people think it's not always the cups for emotions, but it is, because that's fire. Fire is passion. It's definitely pentacles because most wands are made out of wood. It's definitely air because you need air to light the fire. This is, gather yourself, right? Gather all your tricks, your talents, your knowledge, and go on stage. Go teach. Share what you know. People need what you know. People enjoy you. Sometimes we have to work on diplomacy. Sometimes we have to work on our delivery. I'm very blunt. I jokingly say I don't sugarcoat readings, but I do a little bit, like it'll be depending upon how I have to deliver it or what I have to say, and have to as in whatever the channel is. I never give death dates, but sometimes I have to not come close, but say something about that. But we temper it a little bit with the facts of life. I'm just hearing the facts of life. Give yourself credit. I'm not seeing anything super bad. Give yourself credit, pat yourself on the back, and allow those compliments to wash over you. And humbleness is bowing to them. Say, oh, thank you so much. Well, that was kind of you to say. Instead of, what do you mean by that? Because some people will actually say that. What do you mean by that? No, it's true. Not everyone will say something. They'll say something that sounds flattering, but that's not what they meant. We ignore. That's the practice extreme humility. That's what it is. That's where I don't always practice. That's where it is that I don't always practice extreme humility, because I'm looking at them and like, I know exactly what you meant. Just bow out. Bow out of it. Bow out of the conversation, walk away. Not always necessarily the relationship, depending upon what they mean to you or how they're in your life. There's some people we can't get away from because of circumstances. But this is lovely. This is absolutely lovely. Accept the compliments. Accept the adulation, the praise, the flowers. And even if you have to collect them yourself, you're walking, you see a flower, pick it up. Maybe if you want. Some people like to let them grow, they don't want to pick. Then just take a picture. Keep the photograph. Hug the trees. Capricorn, you're just filled with love. I love this. All right. Thank you, Capricorn. Okay, that was it. I'm going to turn that over so we keep something there. That was it. Remember, I hope you hit like, share, subscribe. Welcome to comment. I know I get a lot of comments in person or via the phone, because I've got clients in Australia and, around different places. So I get compliments there. But like it on YouTube, because it helps with the algorithm. And then I see it, then I know. Be yourself. If I'm going to end today's session, I want to finish by saying, come back to your breath. Always your breath. Be yourself. Let your breath guide you in being yourself. Our breath is our meditation. Our breath is love. It's love of life. It's love of self. Take care of your breath. Get those lungs strong. That's what keeps us healthy. That's what keeps us balanced, grounded. It helps with being grounded. Healthy people, in some ways, a lot of ways, it used to be definitely before 2021, if their lungs were strong, they didn't get sick a lot. They didn't get that mucus from, the poisons and toxins in the air, it is what it is. But if we get our lungs strong, and yes, I know the food and all that, but if we get our lungs strong, that's a powerhouse. Practice the breath work. At the very least, you in for 4, hold for 4, and release for 4. It's 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you release for 4. You do that at least 4 times. And then if you want, you work your way up to 10. If somebody can hold their breath, do it sitting down. Somebody can hold their breath for a minute and a half, I believe. That shows a healthy lung. So if you have the lung capacity to do that, and I know smokers, when they started practicing breath work, their lungs, they just didn't want to even have a cigarette. Now, and we know there's like 800 chemicals in that to be addictive. Nice industry, huh? Nice. So that's the drug companies. And that's what a cigarette is. It's your dealer. So practice the lung capacity, and you want to focus on yourself. Be healthy. You will love. Pass it on. Share it. Okay, it's all good. Thanks for joining. If you're listening, if you follow through with the goodbye. You are loved, and you are lovable. Always. And I am perfectly, absolutely positive that you are loved. Go play.